Today we're going to apply water transfer decals, specifically mine. So if you did purchase them, thank you. But these should work with pretty much any water slide decal. So to get started, I'm gonna do just a regular application, and then we'll do 3 other ones. So for this one, I already cut it out of these little sheet things. It was a medium-sized one, and I'm going to try to get it as close to the shape of this nail as possible so that I have less work to do later. And that looks like it'll fit pretty good. So then I'm gonna go in with this protein bond. That just helps the gel stick. And we're gonna use Luxa transfer gel. It's for foils, but it kind of works good for this because you'll see it like holds it for you. So you wanna do a nice thin coat and then cure it for 30 seconds. So we sit here for 30 seconds, I guess. Okay, and then you're gonna take the decal and put it in the water. I like them to be a little bit more sturdy, so I only put them in for a couple of seconds. So dry it off, and then you're gonna slide it up a little bit past the backing, and then use that to tack it onto the nail, and then just pull the back out from underneath. And then you wanna smooth the decal out. So if there's anything extra, that's fine, because you can take your file and just file around the edges. And you kinda wanna leave a little bit around so it can essentially be encapsulated. So you can kind of see there's like edges that you can see around the nail, and that's what's gonna help encapsulate it. And then I use the caption conversion base, but any base coat will be fine. And then you just put a nice coat of base coat over it, and then cure it again for a minute. And then after it's cured, you wanna use the top coat and go over the whole thing again with the top coat, and then cure it again. So this top coat was a sticky layer, so I'm gonna get the sticky layer off. And I'm going to go around and buff it just to get out any little wrinkles or ripples that might have been in the decal. I don't think I have too many of those going on. And around the edges, if there was any inconsistencies. And then at this point, if you want to, you can take a matching color. This one obviously is black, and a detail brush, and you can seal in those edges that you left. And then do your last top coat. And then cure it again for a minute. So that's the finished decal on like regular application. And then I can show you how to do it on like a really small nail, and then some of the other options of decals that I offer as well. So for a shorter, smaller nail, obviously you have to be a little bit more selective with which decal you want to use. There are the smaller sized ones, but if you know that the nail is going to be really tiny, you might have to do some surgery to the decal to make it work. Gonna prep it again with protein bond. And while that dries, I'm going to cut this little guy out. You can leave the bottom edge because you're gonna file off the extra anyway, but you just wanna make sure this part fits. And then a thin coat of transfer gel and cure it for 30 seconds. So again, I'm gonna put it in the water. It differs depending on the decals that you bought. These ones I'm usually good with like 7 to 10 seconds. If you like them to be super slippery and come right off, you can leave them in there longer. They don't like melt or anything. But I can usually like test it. And we got a little bit of movement on it, so I'm gonna dry it off. And then slide up a little bit so you can tack it to the cuticle area, and then slide the backing out. And then you're gonna smooth it all out. And like I overestimated how much was gonna be on the sides. So in those situations, you can actually use your cuticle nippers and just cut the decal closer to where you would need it so you don't have to file it all the way up on their skin. And then make sure to leave that little margin around so you can seal it. So then you do a base coat, making sure to cap the edge and cure it. So after the base coat is cured, this time I don't have any wrinkles or inconsistencies. It was a really short nail, but I am gonna go over some of the edges so that you can't see where I was filing. It also helps seal in the decal because you're closing up any edges. And then cure that and then top coat it. And then the final top coat layer, making sure to get all your edges and cap the free edge. And cure it. And again, this was a sticky top coat, so I'm just gonna wipe that sticky layer off. And that's it on a short, tiny nail. You can cut them. You don't have to use them the way that they come or the shape that they are. If you just wanted like just the planchette, you can just cut out that. You don't have to use the whole thing. It's just a suggestion. So this one is a lot longer of a nail. I've already painted it. I used a lime green with a green cat eye, but I just want to show you guys with the clear decals, like the snakeskin and the lace, you can put whatever color underneath and it'll show through, unlike these solid ones. So since it's already done, I'm gonna do the transfer gel and cure it for 30 seconds. So I don't know if you can kind of see where it's like see-through, and I'm sliding it up past the backing, and that's so it'll stick to that transfer gel, and then I can like pull the backing out. And that kind of creates like a stretch onto the nail, which a lot of other decal companies, they don't really do that, which is why I made these, because I needed them to like wrap the nail properly. So this guy, again, I'm gonna have to cut with cuticle nippers. I think this is what I use my cuticle nippers for more than anything else, honestly. So then file off the extra on the sides and the front. Create that little margin that will seal it in. And this one you don't have to paint around the edges because it's clear, so it doesn't really matter. And then you do the base coat and cure it. Oh, our finger's crooked. I bent it wrong. And then you do the top coat and cure it for however long your top coat cures. Usually it's 60 seconds in the LED. So I'll wipe off the sticky layer. And then that's how the clear decals look over, like even cat eye. You could do an ombre, you could do glitter. It just kind of goes over whatever your base is, where these guys are solid. So you don't have to put anything down underneath. So for this guy, it's obviously a very long nail, and the decals usually aren't super duper long. So in this case, it certainly wouldn't have made it to the bottom, but I matched the background. And I'm gonna cut out this guy's little face. It doesn't have to be like super perfect. So I just have the piece of the decal that I wanted. Like I said before, you could do just a planchette. I'm just doing his face. And then I'm going to do a thin coat of foil transfer gel and cure it for 30 seconds. And then put it in the water. He slides up. And I'm gonna kind of center it. And then go in with the base coat. These ones are a lot easier to seal in because they're not going to each edge. They're just like in the middle of a nail. So they usually hold out a lot better if people are super rough on their nails with typing and whatnot. I like this way the best. And then we're gonna cure it. With this one, I'm gonna do a matte top coat. Since I did shiny on all the other ones, I kinda wanna show you what they look like matte. It's my favorite for the horror characters or the black and white ones. I don't know why, but it looks so much cooler matte. And then we're gonna cure it again. So that's how they look matte, which I think looks really cool. They almost look like photographs, kinda. I don't know. They just look cooler to me when they're matte. So that's how you apply the water transfer decals, specifically mine, but it should work for most of them. I still think you should buy mine though. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.